what were they doing in Palestrina's time?
In Palestrina's time, they would have essentially sung each note long as you know as essentially like an equalist approach. Um, and then they're primarily thinking about setting the chant as a cantus firmus in a polyphonic setting. It would have been accompanied and quite heavy, and the chant editions were themselves quite different. So you might if you were doing this in the 16th century, and let's say it's accompanied, something like that. It might be like inclina aurem tuam, etc. And you
That's
see it's
good
kind of
too. That's also
yeah,
good.
it's all right.
Oh my
Um,
goodness. That was great.
and so if you are doing if you're doing chant in the context of Renaissance music, maybe you want to sing from an actual Renaissance edition. Palestrina was commissioned by Pope Gregory the 13th in the 1570s to edit a new edition of Gregorian chant that was going to be the kind of standard. He never actually finished it, but it was what we now call the Medicean edition. It was later finished by other kind of solfeggio partimento stars like Banchieri, and published accordingly. And so you would have that kind of chant, but it was often accompanied by the organ or perhaps by the serpent or other instruments. It was
Wait,
the
so
basis
wait, you
for
said the
improv.
serpent. I'm not getting that. What
Oh
is the
yeah,
serpent? That's not a snake, right?
it's not a snake. It's you know what the cornetto is, presumably, right?
Some kind
It's
of
like
trumpet, right?
it's a trumpet like it's got a trumpet like mouthpiece, but
Hmm.
it's a wooden instrument with holes like a recorder.
Okay.
And it's a rather beautiful, it sounds quite human and fragile. Anyway, the serpent is the kind of alto or tenor of the family. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, this
So
thing.
it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
you can see why they call it a serpent, right? So
I don't even believe
really
that's a
just
real instrument, but yeah, there
and
it is.
so it's got essentially a brass mouthpiece.
Yep.
But the instrument itself is made of wood wrapped in leather, and so it's actually quite soft and gentle, and maybe softer than a bassoon, softer than a tuba for sure, but still kind of providing this low support. And so this would have been the instrument par excellence for accompanying chant. Um, in many places in the 18th and 19th century, and it's just sort of you do the chant as you might say for cooking, low and slow. So you sing the chant, and it's all accompanied kind of at the unison with the serpent. Um, there are serpent treatises that talk about how to do this. The serpent could occasionally harmonize. The serpent could do divisions and diminutions. It's a really kind of interesting subfield, which I don't know a ton about,
This is my
but
first time hearing about it. I've never seen this in
yeah.
my life. Wow.
Well, yeah, a serpent player in the 19th century would have had to be trained in essentially extemporaneous chant accompaniment, which is kind of interesting.
Wonderful.